I'll just make you as a host, okay? Can you start sharing your screen?
You have to stop sharing your screen then, I think.
Yeah. Once you started, automatically mine will be stopped.
Okay.
Okay. So the first thing, you need to understand whether you have Java installed in your machine. Since you're using Windows platform, the place where we need to go to Windows Explorer, or else do one thing, go to command prompt.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Type Java C, which is nothing but Java compiler. So Java C is not the command prompt is like it's not.
I don't know.
No, that's not a problem. That's okay. That's okay.
Okay.
So basically, it doesn't matter from where you're trying. For your entire system, your Java should be accessible. So the moment you provide Java C, it says Java C, it's not recognized internal or external command, which means it doesn't know what is Java C. So, which means we don't have Java installed in our machine. Sometimes what happens, we have Java installed in our machine, but we might not have set the environmental variables. So that might be another reason why it is not available here. So the next thing, now we know that the Java is not available. Next thing, we need to check whether the Java is installed in your machine. Go to Windows Explorer. And here you need to go to the C drive and go to program files. Do you see any Java folders here?
No.
Now, can you go back and try go into the another program files folder as well? Do you see any Java here?
No.
Okay, so now we are 100% sure Java is not installed on my machine. That is the reason command prompt, it is not giving me some proper meaningful information when I try Java C. Okay, so now close everything. Close your command prompt. Now go to new tab and download. For now, we are going to use Java 8 version, JDK version. So what you can do is JDK 1.8 download. Yeah. No, JDK 1.8 download, that's enough. Okay, yeah, go there. So it will ask you to provide some login information. But anyway, can you go down at the bottom? Scroll down. Okay, you're using Windows, right? So we have to go for the Windows 64. No, you go a little bit up. Go up a little more. Okay, this is the list of, here, Windows 64, which is 64-bit. Okay.
What is the difference between 64 and 86?
So 86 is a 32-bit operating system. 64 is 64-bit operating system. In Windows, we have two variants, 64 and 32 and 64. 32 is a pretty old one. We are not using it anymore. Only 64, we are using it.
Okay. So I click over here?
Yes, that's the one. We need to download. So I reviewed and download that. It might ask you to log in. Do you have a username and password?
I think I do.
Okay, just give it a try. Okay,
I mean, I do, but
okay, maybe for now
something I have forgotten.
Okay, for now I'm giving you mine, so use that for now.
Just try this.
So I just shared in the chat, and that is my username, and this is my password. Can you try use these credentials and see whether you're able to log in? Yeah, it started downloading. Okay, go. Okay, so now open file. So now what we are about to do is we are trying to install JRE in your machine. Sorry, anyway. Is it Windows 10 or 11? Windows 10, right?
I think so, yeah.
Okay. Okay, next. By default, it will go to the other program files folder. We don't want to change anything. Just click next. And one other thing which you need to aware of it, when you install JDK, not only JDK will be installed. There will be another property will be also installed. Click next. I'll tell you how to check that as well. So it will install JDK along with JRE. JDK is for your development process. Okay. But the JRE is for runtime environment. We'll talk about in detail in later. Okay.
Okay.
Close.
No next steps?
No need, not necessary. Okay, so now go to your Windows Explorer and see whether you can see the Java folder. Go inside. Do you see there are two folders, one for JDK, one for JRE. JDK is for development process, which is Java Development Kit. JRE, which is Java Runtime Environment. Anyway, we'll talk about that in detail. Okay, so now we have Java installed. So now open your command prompt. Type Java C and enter it again. Still, we have the same problem. Okay, the first time when I tried it, the Java itself, it's not available in my machine. But now we have Java available in your machine, but it is not still accessible in this location. So once the Java is installed, next thing what we need to do is we need to make sure my Java is accessible in all the location. So for that, we need to set the environmental variable, which kind of we can call them like global variable. Okay, so go to Windows Explorer and go inside the C drive and go to program files and go inside Java folder and go inside JDK. Okay, now copy the path. Yeah, just copy the path. So now what you need to do is you need to search for environmental variable. Okay, not there.
CD?
No, not here. In the Windows, you can search for it. Can you click window?
Yeah.
No. The window key. And search for environmental variable env. Okay, see, stop there. Okay. If you see here, there are two things. Edit the system environmental variable and below edit environmental variable for your account. Okay. When you're working in your personal machine, it doesn't matter. But when you're working for a company, you remember in company, they will not give you administrator access. Okay. So we have admin access and we have your own account. So whenever you want to do something with the environmental variable, you have to choose the second one, edit environmental variable for your account. Okay. But if it is a personal machine, you can use the first one. Since you're using first one, since you're using personal laptop, you can choose the first option. You understand the difference between those two, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So now click environmental variable in the bottom. Okay. So here, well, first of all, what I need to do, I have to create a variable where I can specify if you access this variable, you will get the home path of Java. Okay. So click new.
Here or here?
User variable, not the system variable. Java underscore home, all capital letter. Java underscore home. And now in the path, you need to paste the path which you copied. Can you give me a second?
Yeah, sure. In the variable value?
Okay, in the variable value, you copied the path, right? Just paste that over there and click OK. Now we are not done yet. Okay. So I have a variable which contains my Java home. Okay. If you want that will be accessed in all the location, that needs to be added in the path. Okay. Do you see a variable called path over there? The fourth one.
Yes.
Can you click the path or double click the path? Or you can click and select edit also. That's also fine. Okay. So here, click new and use the percentage symbol and Java underscore home, the variable which you created, underscore home and percentage and a backward slash bin. Because the reason why we are adding bin here, because only bin folder we have. Use the, check the above one. Yeah, the similar one. Yeah, bin. Small letter, all small letter bin. And the reason why we are adding bin folder here, because only in the bin folder we have the compiler and the executor available. Now click OK. Click OK. And OK again. And OK. Okay, close the command prompt and open it again. And then try Java C. Now it is recognized something. It is giving you some information about the Java C compiler, right? Previously, it was simply giving us Java C. It's not a recognized internal or external command. You remember the error message, right?
Yeah.
Okay, now it's giving the proper information. So which means Java C, it's available in the bin folder, but still I'm able to access in the C drive users under Swati folder.
Correct.
Right. Now, can you go back to Windows Explorer and go to inside the bin folder? No, the same. Go to JDK and inside bin folder. And the reason why we provided the bin here, only inside the bin folder, we have the Java compiler and Java executor and Java document. Everything is available here. If you see, can you see Java C.exe?
Yes, ma'am.
Exactly. So that is what you're trying to access from your command prompt. So that Java C.exe, which will help us to compile a Java program. Okay. And just above that, you have another thing called Java.exe.
Yes.
That will help us to execute a Java program. So once you compiled, it will give you a bytecode. So using the Java command, we will execute the bytecode. Okay. Okay. So now the basic steps has been done. But how do we know that Java is working on my machine? So we have to write a simple program, right? And then compile it and then execute it. So we'll know that this is how Java will work, right?
Okay,
so now, and one other important thing, I will never suggest you to use any kind of IDE. You have the IDEs, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And the reason why I'm telling you not to use any IDE, because IDEs will never let you to learn anything. Because even before you made a mistake, it will tell you something's wrong in there. Okay. So the next thing, what do we need? We need a proper notepad editor or any text pad editor. So do you have anything? Any text pad?
I have notepad.
Notepad is not good actually, because we cannot save it, no? So it will lose the information. But we can use the better notepad. So go back to your browser and download. There is something called Notepad++. Download Notepad++. Yeah, that's it. Okay, go there and download the latest version. It is just a simple one. Okay, free download for PC. No. No thanks. Continue to download Notepad++. Wait a second. Okay, it is getting downloaded.
This one.
Okay, yes, that's the one which we need to install. Okay. Next. Agree. Next. Install. Hey, I'll tell you something. Most of the time, I will let you to do everything. I will not do anything. Okay. So whenever the things are getting complicated, then only I'll step in. I will do it for you. Okay. So the reason why I'm doing that, it will be easy for you to understand when I'm not around. Okay. Will that be okay for you?
And what is this now?
Okay. I think you already did that. You can cancel it. You already installed it.
Okay.
Okay. Now try search for the Notepad++.
Wait.
Just type Notepad++. I think you should be, yeah, there. The recently added one. The top. Yep. Okay. So let the Notepad will open. Okay, open the Notepad. Okay, maximize that one. Okay. So now what I'm gonna do is, we don't know anything about the program, but we need to check whether the Java is working fine. For now, what I'm gonna do is go to the browser and search for Java Hello World program. Java Hello World example, or anything is fine. Yeah. Click the first link and go down. Copy the program. Okay. So copy and go to Notepad and open a new file. You can ignore it or ignore this one. File, new, and paste. And can you maximize? Can you hold your control key and use your scroll up button? It will maximize the font size, I guess. No, hold your control key and use your scroll up. Okay. So now, so modify the simple to hello world. The line number 1.
Saying to modify it.
Yeah, we are class simple, right? Just remove the simple and make it as a hello world. You are not supposed to give any spaces. We will talk about that. Why is that? Okay. So now double click on the hello world, copy that. Control C. Okay. So now let it be there. Okay. So first of all, we need to save the file, and there are rules you need to keep it in mind while saving the Java file. For now, I will tell you, and then we'll talk about in detail. Click save. Okay, so now what you can do is go to C drive and create a dedicated folder for you for Java session or something. Yeah, anything is fine. Yeah, so I can say okay. Go inside the folder and change the file name as hello world, and you need to specify .java, not .txt. Hello world.java. Okay, save it. Okay, now we are good. So first what we are trying to do is we need to compile the program and then we need to execute the program first. Okay. So do you know how to? So do you know where the hello world.java saved in your PC, right?
Yes.
Can you open your command prompt and navigate to the folder? Do you know how to do that?
Yeah.
Okay. There are easiest way also there. Okay, since you know the CD and all, it's better. This thing. Okay, cool. Okay, CD. No, CD space. Yes, type a tab. It automatically filled it up. Yes, type yes. No, type yes and tab. SW. First 2 letters. Your folder name. Yeah, tab now. Yeah. Now click enter. Now try dir. Enter dir. So how many files are there?
1.
Only 1 file. Okay, now we are going to compile the program. So the way how we can compile Java C. So Java C. So the meaning of it, I'm trying to use my compiler to compile a program. Space which program? Hello world.java. Just type the first letter and try tab. It automatically, yeah. Now enter it. Yep. Since there is no error in the program, There is no compilation error. Then we need to use the Java executor to execute the code. So Java space hello world.
Like this?
Just a hello world. You don't need to mention the class. Have you got the hello Java? The output of the program. Now try dir and enter. So how many files are there now?
Now there are 2 files. One is the class file, one is the Java file.
So basically that is the most important thing. Whenever you compile a program, first it will do a pre-check whether it has any compilation issue. So if it has a compilation issue, the class file will not be created. So there is no compilation issue, then the class will be created. Only the class file can be executed, not the Java file.
Okay.
Okay, and let me ask you another question. You're making some changes. Okay. Okay, can you go back to your program and change the hello Java to hello hi or hello Java programming? Now save it. Control S. No. Control S, you already saved it. Go back to command prompt and try to execute the same code. You can use the up key. If you try up arrow, it will give you
this one.
Yes, right. So what is the output over there?
Hello Java.
Why?
The old one.
Exactly.
The reason.
Compiled again. The point is, whenever you make a change, we have to make the compilation again, and then only we can execute the latest code. Yeah, try that.
Yeah.
Use the up arrow. That will help you. It will give you the previously executed commands. Yeah.
This one, right?
Yeah, that's the one, Java C. And then again, you can press up arrow. It will give you again. Yeah. See, hello. So now.
So the directory will have the same class file will be overwritten.
Of course, if you can go to the Windows Explorer and you can see for yourself what is there.
Yeah.
Okay. And the class file has been overridden by at 9:40 a.m. Okay. So now that is what I'm talking about. You remember the first slide which I show you? Install your Java.
Yeah.
And JDK JRE folder and setting your local environment. And then make sure everything works. So that is the first step. Okay. So are we clear here? Don't worry about the program what we simply tried. Okay, that program which we used only to make sure Java is working in your PC. That's all. Okay. So now what I'm gonna do is let me share my screen. Okay, can you stop your sharing? Okay, let me share mine. Let me know once you're able to see my screen.
Yeah, I'm.
Okay, so we completed the for download Java, install JDK JRE and environmental setup, and we are all good to go. Okay, so what is the next thing which we need to do? So the topics which needs to be covered: Java basics, Java oops. These are all the concept, and I'm not going to talk about this now. Okay, so before that, we have to know what is JDK and what is JRE and what is JVM. Okay, so that is what we're going to talk about. So I'm going to skip this because anyway, we'll talk about the topics individually. And this is just introduction about Java when the Java has been introduced to the industry and then who introduced that. And now it becomes part of Oracle organization. So now it's not anymore Sun Microsystem. So let's not spend too much time over there. Okay. So here is the important part, Java virtual machine. Okay. So this is what we generally call as a JVM. And the purpose of Java virtual machine, this is the one which will execute your bytecode. Okay, so when you do Java C, right? When you do Java C space your class file, your class named at Java, it basically convert your Java file into bytecode. See, bytecode is the only readable format of all kind of computers. Okay, so if it is generates a bytecode, it can be executable in any kind of platform or any kind of operating system. That is a whole other reason we are calling Java as a platform independent. Okay, people are thinking like you can develop a program and you can create a class file and it will be executed in the all the different operating system. Yeah, that is true. But what actually behind the concept? Because the class is nothing but it's a pure 0 and 1s. It's a pure bytecode. So all the computers can read 0 and 1s. Even the mobile phones can do right now. Okay. So the process of virtual machine is the controller of executing your Java into a bytecode. Right. So that's the fourth point. It generates Java bytecode as a output. So once you Java C space your hello world.java, it will create a class file, and your Java virtual machine takes that class file, which means takes the bytecode, and it will show the output in the console or the screen. Okay, so the virtual machine is nothing but it's a kind of a host who will take care of the class files and execute it and giving the output to the user. And still, we are going to talk about even much more about Java virtual machine in the later point. Okay, and then the platform independent. This is very very simple concept. So once you for example, you created the class file in your Windows platform, right? If you share that class file to me, I can execute the same in my Mac or Linux as well. So that is the whole reason it is called as a platform independent. But more important thing, you cannot simply execute the class file in all the platforms. Even though if you want to access that Windows class file into a Linux or Mac, every operating system must have the JVM inside. Okay, or else, even though if you have a bytecode, will not have access to execute and see the output. Okay, so you're with me right now?
Yeah.
Okay.
Arun, I need to log out and log in again because by mistake I have logged in through my husband's account, and this is his office ID, and in his office it is showing that I have logged in for a project support.
Sure.
I'll just log out. Give me 1 minute. I'll log back in. Okay. Just okay.
Sure.
Yeah. Yes, I am.
Okay. Okay, so the platform independent, that is the same one which we're talking about. The class executed in Windows, it can be executed in the Linux, Mac OS as well. Okay. Then this is the important step. You remember the bytecode generation. So we tried Java C something and Java space something. What actually is happening? So in our scenario, you have hello world.java as a raw program, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we have a Java development kit. This is where we need to talk about Java development kit. So the Java development kit contains the compiler. So not only the compiler, it has some additional libraries. It has some other properties as well. We'll talk about that in detail later, because we'll talk about specifically what is JDK and what it contains. And we'll talk about what is specifically available in JRE and JVM. We'll talk about everything in detail. Okay. So once the code is developed, it will be compiled using the Java compiler, and the Java compiler stays inside the JDK. So once it is compiled, what will happen? We'll have the class file, right?
Correct.
That class file will hand over to the Java virtual machine, and Java virtual machine, which will be installed in your operating system, Windows, Mac, or Linux, whatever it is. And then this virtual machine takes the bytecode, and then it will give you the output. And this Java virtual machine sitting inside the Java runtime environment. You remember you have seen two folders. One is JDK and one is JRE. So JRE is helping everybody to execute a program and see the output in the screens.
So basically, if I have to execute or send a program in Java, I just need to download JVM and it will run.
Not a JVM, JRE.
JRE.
Okay. Think about this scenario. JDK is for development purpose. JRE is for runtime purpose. As a developer, I can use JDK. But as an end user, do we need a JDK?
No, because we don't.
It's not necessary for you, because all you need is just a runtime environment where I can get the files from you and I can execute them. In case if I want to change, I can request you, hey, I need a change in the class file. Can you make it happen? So then what the developer does that, they will make the changes and they will recompile the program, everything. And then they will send you the outdated class file, and then you'll use the JRE to run those files. That is what happened in the JRE.
Okay.
So now let's talk about Java development kit. Okay. So we'll keep talking about JDK, right? And let's see what exactly it in it. Okay. So JDK, the name itself, it gives you the meaning. It's a complete kit, Java development kit. It's specifically for the developer. and it contains everything: compiler, runtime, Java doc, Java debugger, everything is there. See, you install JDK, right? But you are able to see the JRE also.
Yes.
Correct. So that is what the important part, because as a developer, you need a JDK, but if you want to run it, you need JRE. Okay. So as a developer, you need everything: compiler, runtime, and other libraries as well. Okay. So JDK is a package contained
Correct.
with everything, whatever the developer needs and whatever the end user needs, everything available in the JDK kit. Okay. So the last point is very simple. In order to create and compile Java code, all you need is a JDK, because as part of JDK, you'll have the JRE as well. Okay. So now let's move on a little bit and see now what's the next one. Okay. So Java runtime environment. This is what we have. You remember the image which we have seen, right? It has the Java runtime environment. It has JVM. It has JDK.
Correct.
Yeah.
All three, yeah.
So yeah, this is a diagram which we discussed a few minutes before, and now we are going to talk about the Java runtime environment. So what it contains. So JRE is a part of JDK. Yeah, that we already know it. Okay, so when you install JDK, you will have JRE as well. So once you have JRE, which means you have accessible to execute all the bytecode. The keyword is most important. You will be able to execute the bytecode, which is nothing but the class file. The class file, who created the class file? The compiler creates the class file. Okay, and look at the last point. When you only need to run a Java program on your computer, you will only need JRE. Do you need a JDK?
No.
Not at all. So that is the whole point of having JRE. So JDK is for developer, and JDK you can simply say that is for end user purpose. And then, okay, this we already tried it. The main feature of Java. We are creating a Java file and we are compiling it, and then we are executing it. And what will happen when you're executing it? We have a JRE. It will execute your bytecode and it will display the code in our console or the screen. Which this we already tried at. Okay. And let's not talk about the object-oriented language, because this is a separate topic. Once we completed the Java basics, then we'll move on to the object-oriented programming language. So the next important thing is JVM. Okay, so you might be thinking, why this guy keep talking about JDK, JRE, JVM? As I told you earlier, think about this scenario. I created a program and I'm running with some code issue. Will you be able to fix it?
Not without JVM.
No.
Not without JDK.
No, not about that. We are both a developer. You are a developer and I'm a developer.
Okay.
I made some mistakes and I'm not able to fix the code. You came into the same code and you see there is something wrong. Will you be able to fix it? Of course you can.
Yes, I can.
Of course you can fix the code. Right? But that job any developer can do. Right or wrong?
Correct.
Okay. Think about this scenario. You are getting some error message like memory out of bound exception. It's not a code issue. How do you find out what caused that? So normally, okay, your system is not working. What do? Your system got frozen.
I restart my machine.
That's true.
Or else I ask my other developer peer to take over the code and to finish it.
And
I'll work on that other machine.
That's what every people will do. The moment you got stuck something, you will restart. Okay, and you will restart your PC. And similarly, when you are running into Java, there are times it will give you some memory exception. People doesn't care what the hell is that. They will simply stop the JVM and restart it again. Okay, but who will analyze what happened wrong? Why the memory outage happened? Somebody needs to do that, right? It's not your local machine. What happens if the memory out of exception comes into production? Can you stop the JVM just like that? That's not possible, because the live users using the application, you cannot shut down a JVM. Okay. So you might be thinking why I'm saying that. So not only programming, just apart from programming, also there are few system errors will come. So you need to know how to find if something goes wrong. There might be a memory exception. There might be out of space exception. and hash exception. There are different kind of exception are available. So whenever those issues comes, we need to know where to go and look at it. We might not know how to fix it, but at least if I'm getting a memory exception, I should know where I had to go and say it. Obviously, it's a JVM. And as a JVM, there are few properties they will handle the memory area. We'll talk about the architecture of JVM in the later point. For now, JVM, let's talk about very generic term about JVM. So JVM, which is available in your machine, and the purpose of it, the bytecode. So JVM execute the bytecode, which is generated by the compiler. Okay, that class file, right? That class file will be executed by the JVM. Okay, so if you create a class file in one kind of operating system, it can be executed in any kind of platforms, which means any kind of operating systems. But one condition, all the operating system must contain the JVM. That is what the image is explaining. So you have a Java source code and you're compiling it. And once you compile it, you create a dot class file, which is nothing but a bytecode. And if you take a look at it, we have 3 different operating systems, Windows, Linux, Mac. In all the operating systems, the output will be the same. The class file is the same, but only difference is each and every operating system, they have their own JVM. So JVM will work in the same way across all the platforms. This is the exact reason we are calling that as a platform. Nobody is talking about this JVM when it comes to platform independent, but this is the only important thing which you need to keep it in mind. Okay. Are we going too fast?
No.
Okay. And pretty much I did the first 1 or 2 days, you feel like we are covering too many things which is not even relevant to us. But believe me, these things are really important. Okay. And here is another important slide. You remember we talked about JVM.
Yes.
And it has its own architecture. So it has a class loader. Under the class loader, we have different kind of areas: method, heap, stack, PC register, navigate, method stack, and execution engine and native method interface and native method libraries. We will know what is the purpose of each and everything. The JVM takes the class file, right, to execute it. And what the class loader will do, we'll talk about each and every one. The purpose of class loader, it reads the information in the class file. For example, how many methods are available, how many variables are available, and what is the class type, kind of auditing the class, the information about everything. So once it reads all this information, those data will be stored in the method area. So this holds the class level information. So which means if you open a method area, it contains what is the class name and how many methods are available, how many static methods are available, how many non-static methods, how many variables, global variables. It contains every information. Okay. And the next important thing, heap area. This is part of JVM memory where the objects are allocated. You are creating a variable, right? So whenever you're creating a variable, it has to be stored somewhere, right or wrong. It's need a space, right?
Yeah, so basically all these class loader, method area, heap, stack, these are all locations in the machine where the Java things are stored, basically memory area.
Not exactly memory area. It's actually all those information sitting in, we are only, the generic term we talked about is a JVM. JVM, which will execute a class file into a proper output. But what exactly happened in the background? These things will take care of everything. First, once it receives the class file, class loader will take all the information and then it will store them in the method area. So when you open a method area, these are all logical steps. You cannot see it on your eyes. Okay. And you might be asking then, what happened if something goes wrong? How do I identify what went wrong? I'll talk about that later. So method area contains all the method information, heap purely for memory objects. So now you tell me, remember I was telling you like what happened if I'm getting a memory out of bound exception. So where exactly you need to go and see?
No, what did you say? How memory?
Memory exception. You're getting some memory exception when you're executing your project. So where you need to go and check it out?
In this stack?
In the heap.
In the heap.
Yeah. Okay. So now we know that the heap is the one holding all the objects. Okay. Which means it contains all the objects and their location. So if the memory is getting some exception, obviously you have to come back to JVM, and all you need to do is open the heap area and see what went wrong. It has the loggers in it. Loggers means auditing the information, what went wrong, why there is an exception. Everything will be available in the heap area. Okay, so this is what you need. Nobody will come and ask you, can you go and check the memory issue? Okay, because if somebody is telling you, hey, I'm getting some memory issue, something wrong in the JVM, so can you go to the JVM and open the heap area and see what went wrong? At least you can tell that, right? That kind of knowledge we need. Okay, but now the next question is, how do I open a JVM and see it? Have you got the question in your mind or not?
JVM, basically the class file is a JVM only, right? It's the output of the JVM.
No. The JVM, it takes the class file and gives the output. Okay. When I'm executing the output, I'm getting some memory out of bound exception. So now we don't know what went wrong. So we need to open your JVM and then go to the heap area because I'm getting a memory issue. So obviously something wrong in the heap area. For example, here, this is your JVM. Okay. So the class file comes in and your method area will store all the method information and then it moving on to the heap. But here I'm getting some exception. So once if it gets an exception here, it will not move forward. So what you need to do, you have to go back to the JVM and open the heap area, and then you will see what went wrong. Okay, but you don't know how to do that, right? How to open a JVM? Do you have that question in your mind or not?
Yes.
Okay, JVM is a logical thing. You cannot see it in your real eyes. Okay, so the way how we can do that, do you know the purpose of black box in the airplanes?
Basically, it stores each and every second of
exactly
the
everything.
data.
It's monitor everything, whatever happening in the including the location and the navigation and the weather condition, how many passengers, the temperature, everything. It will be monitored in the black box. Similarly, in Java, we have something like JFR, which is nothing but Java Flight Recorder. Okay, so you need to install the Java Flight Recorder. Obviously, now you know what I'm talking about. Why I mentioned the flight record, why I mentioned the black box, and why I'm talking about the Java Flight Recorder. Just like our black box, your Java Flight Recorder will monitor your JVM, what is happening in and out, everything. Okay, so install your JFR and then open the JVM, and because that Java Flight Recorder, it will be able to access the JVM, and there you can see all those information, class loader, method area, heap, stack, everything. It will be visible for your eyes. You can open and expand them and you can see what is happening and what went wrong. That is how the people who's working in the background, the backend teams, right? That is how they will find the issue. The reason, do you know the reason why they are doing that?
So this particular Java flight recorder is something that the developer does not see, but a different develop backend.
The backend team, the people who maintain the servers, right?
Oh, okay.
They know how to handle that. And there are a lot of much better monitoring tools are available, okay, in the market. But Java Flight Recorder is the one which will be delivered by the Oracle, and it is for us to use free.
Okay.
Okay. So that is the reason I am giving the explanation of Java Flight Recorder, but there are other tools also available. Okay. So now the next important thing, after the heap, you'll have the stack. So it is just for temporary variables. So once you execute the variable and then it will be destroyed. And then the PC register. From the name itself, it gives you the information. It's a register, which means how many threads are available, which thread has to be executed first, and maintaining the order of execution. That will be handled in the register. And then the last two things, native method stake and native method interfaces. It's like, you remember the command prompt. Is it belongs to Java?
The what?
The command prompt which you used, right? Is it belongs to Java? Is it a Java application?
No, it's a Windows thing.
That's
right?
a Windows application, and you're using Windows application to access Java compiler, right or wrong?
Correct.
So Java is a software, and your command prompt which is available in your operating system, that is a native application. command prompt and your notepad and whatever you're using, the Microsoft, those are native application, correct? Through the native application, you are able to access the virtual machine, right or wrong? Through command prompt, you are able to access the virtual machine, right?
Yeah.
So that is, we can say that it's embedded. Okay. So native application will communicate to the Java compiler. You remember Java C, your native command prompt able to access the Java compiler, and also it will be able to execute the program, which means if you're able to execute the program, which means you'll have the access to the virtual machine.
Correct.
Right? That is where the native method and interfaces playing around. Okay. And the last important thing is garbage collection. Okay. So garbage collection, the name itself, it gives you the meaning. Okay. We are doing, every day we are doing a lot of coding. We are creating a lot of variables. We are creating a lot of objects, but most of the time there are variables you might not even use it. Or once the execution is done, the variable is still hanging around. We'll call them as the orphans or orphan objects. Okay. So once your garbage collector identifies that object is not required for any other process, it will kill the object or it will destroy the object and it will clear the space. The reason why it's clearing the space, because it will be given for another object to occupy. You're following me, right?
Yes.
Now you understand the purpose of
basically you're clearing
JVM.
the memory, right? We are clearing the memory for other jobs.
In a straight words, yes, right. It's clearing the memory so other objects can occupy it.
Okay.
Okay. Is it too much information?
No.
I know it's kind of the first 2 days it'll be like this only, so you have to just manage for 2 days.
Very theoretical, but it's good. At least you're getting.
It's not like I want you to be expert on the JVM, but at least you should know what is JVM, what it contains. Correct. So in the future, when the time comes, some people might be asking, hey, I have some memory exception. I'm not sure what to do, and I cannot shut down the JVM also because it's a production. Okay. So then you can just guide them. Hey, I don't know how to fix it, but I can tell you where and how to go and see it. Open the JVM virtual machine and expand the heap area and see is there any issues over there. And if you open the heap, you should be able to see the error message if possible. You can just give the heads up to them. You can go there and check it out. And in real-time world, this kind of information is gold, People will be stuck. They don't know what to do. And this kind of information helps them a lot. And you'll be a hero for them.
Okay. I mean, yeah. But information type, definitely it helps in understanding it better.
Frankly, it has nothing to do with the coding, by the way. So it's just good to know. It's a good to know things. Okay. And this is the final slide. We are not going to talk about any more theoretical stuff anymore. Okay. So we discussed about JVM, JRE, JDK, right? So this is the entire picture. The second image, which is nothing but the entire Java development kit, which is JDK. If you see the gray area, which is nothing but Java Runtime Environment, which contains JVM and other libraries. And JDK with compiler, debugger, and other development tools. And if you take the gray box out, that is the JRE. Okay. So this is JRE and this is JDK. JVM only contains the libraries, because all it can do is executing the class files and execute it with the help of JVM. And there are libraries available. We can see some jar files called rt.jar. You installed Java, right? If you go inside the bin or lib folder, you should be able to see rt.jar, which is nothing but runtime.jar. So this jar will help to executing the class files. Okay. So basically, two important things. JDK and JRE. JVM is part of JRE. That's it. Okay. So I just want you to know what is JDK and what is JRE and what is JVM. I don't want you to be an expert, but at least you should aware of it. That's all I need.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Okay. So we can stop it today here. And the next thing is tomorrow we're going to talk about, you remember we created one single Hello World Java program.
Yeah.
And we need to talk about each and everything. Why we have a class hello world, and what is the public static void main, and what is the purpose of it, and how it is getting executed. So there are a lot of things. See, people are thinking like hello world program is pretty simple. But
yeah, I mean, it's nothing but just a system printout line, right? My
yes.
hello world, that's all it is.
If I ask out of 10 people, if I'm telling them, can you write a hello world program? I'm pretty sure even all the 10 members can write a hello world program. Okay. But the next question I'll ask them, how the main method is getting executed? Who's calling the method? Did you call the main method when you're executing the hello world? No, right?
No.
We just simply provide Java hello world. So who the heck is calling the main method? Frankly,
the class file?
No, nobody knows it. Okay. So if no, I mean to say I'm talking about the 10 people. They know how to write a hello world. Okay. They know how to write a hello world, but they have really no idea how the heck the main method is getting called.
Yeah.
If I'm calling you, Swati, you'll respond back to me, right?
Correct.
But who's calling the main method? You just simply compile the program and they say execute it using the hello world. So why the main method is getting executed? So there are rules and regulations behind these. Okay. So we'll talk about that tomorrow. And I think hope it's good for today. We can start from our first Java program from tomorrow. Okay.
Okay.
So anything else you need?
No, you'll be sharing the link.
No, I cannot share it right away because I need to do some editing, so I can upload it tomorrow. Maybe if I'm taking the class today, you'll get the link tomorrow. That is how it will work.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. Sure. See you then.